Yes, we're doing it. We're doing it. Yeah, so we're still trying to get used to, we're still trying to get a good way to do the intros on this video. But I think I'm just gonna keep going with the way I have it, right? Just see what pops up. It is a bit difficult to press record and start going, so I do kind of have to get the motor going and work my way into what eventually will be this video you're watching right now, my homie. And speaking of that, please, if you haven't already, like this video. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And not only that, it helps the algorithm push my videos so that more people could watch them and we could grow the Mile High Homies community just a bit bigger, my homies. But let's just dive right into this weekly update. It has been a rocky one, my homies. It has been a rocky one. If you guys follow the channel, you will have seen I did release a Colorado Rapids match day vlog, and I also did release the Tottenham Hotspur match day vlog from the pub here at Esther's, by which I do have my Esther's kit on today. I am working on something for the homies of Colorado Spurs. We do have a new kit coming out, so we're gonna be doing a new kit this year. And like I mentioned before, myself and one of my homies are running Colorado Spurs now, and we're trying to incorporate different type of things. If you guys did watch the last Tottenham match day vlog, you will have noticed we got in our shipment for our official supporters club stuff. So I'm really excited to be able to show up to the pub a bit earlier and decorate the place so that we can get more of a Tottenham vibe and see more of our Tottenham colors while we're there, because you know it is a Tottenham Hotspur bar. Start off by talking about the Rapids, and like I said last time, if the Colorado Rapids is not your jazz, I wouldn't be offended if you skip on to the part where I do start talking about Tottenham Hotspur. Saturday was a weird one. Lately, I've been taking either my family or either just my little daughter to the match. And this one, I was going alone. It was definitely different because it was the last regular season home game. The Rapids have kind of been on somewhat of a funk. And so I didn't know if that was gonna translate over to the crowd. This game had major implications on where the Rapids would be seeding for the playoffs. We do have one more game to fight for seeding. We did clinch a playoff spot, I wanna say like a month ago. So we knew we were going to be in the last 8. It was just a matter of where we were going to be able to, you know, slide in. For a minute there, we were up around 3-4-2, and now it seems like, you know, we're a little bit down the table, and it's okay because we're in the playoffs. Our team doesn't hear a bell. We will keep fighting to the end, and as long as we keep that same mentality, I think the sky's the limit for our team. Even if it's not this year, there's definitely much more to come on the horizon, and I can only see much more improvement coming from this squad and from Chris Armas, our manager. Now that the regular season has ended in terms of home games, I went to every single home game this year, and I'm honestly blessed and grateful to be able to say that, you know. Now that I think about it, I have to do some sort of an end of the season recap and kind of do like my top 10 moments or something. Let me know down in the comments, would a top 10 moments, Colorado Rapids match day vlogs moments be something you guys would like to see? I could definitely work on something like that. The game was fairly boring, if I'm honest with you. Seattle managed to possess more of the ball, which was surprising to me because at home, the Pitties are always in control of the game. Whether it happens late or whether we go down by a goal, it seems like we push and we get the goal back and we're always into the game. We always have a fighting chance to win the game. Saturday was no different, my homies. It was no different. I'm not really gonna make any excuses for our players. They all look very tired. That Leagues Cup run took a lot out of us. I don't really think any of the players, the coaches, fans, even myself, you know, thought we would have went that far into the Leagues Cup. And it added a few more fixtures to our calendar. The fact that the Rapids have been on somewhat of a decline doesn't worry me whatsoever. I think it has to do with the fact that we have had injuries to some of our first team players, most notably being Cole Bassett. We still have one more game in the regular season away at Austin FC in Texas, which is probably going to be another tough game if I'm going to be honest with you guys. So there is a chance that the Rapids may lose 4 out of the last 5 games. But like I said, we did clinch that playoff spot. I don't know if you guys remembered, it was my daughter's birthday last week, and we went to the game. We tried to get Jonathan Lewis's jersey for Lucy's. We weren't successful, but Leah was not upset about it. She understood the assignment, and she understood that it was a maybe. But I did, however, receive an invitation to take Leah to the team store so she can meet some of the players and get some autographs. It was an event that they held for a couple of other kids too, known as the Little Rapids, and Leah just happens to be one of those Little Rapids. So I was able to meet Jackson Travis, who signed the game-worn jersey, and can I just say, I had a conversation with a few of the Rapids players, and he was one of them. And these guys were awesome to sit there and talk to for a while. I asked him who his favorite Premier League team was. He says he doesn't have one, but if he really leaned towards one, he would probably choose a Newcastle United. And I told him, no worries, my homie. There's always time for you to have a think about it. Tottenham Hotspur is always accepting new fans, so take your time and think about it. I showed him the pictures of how we get together at Esther's. So yeah, let's see. We might have another Yito on our hands. Yeah, and thanks for your guys' birthday wishes for Leah as well. But yeah, back to the game. The homie was on the bench for the game, and it's a shame because I had just got done talking to him and telling him, man, how is it feeling getting all these minutes under your boots? And he was telling me, I just need to figure out a way to keep getting those first team minutes. And then the next game, he was on the bench, so I really felt bad for the homie because I know how hard he's been working. So let's go back to the game. Sorry for kind of going off on that. Seattle ended up scoring a goal in the second half, and the Pitties were not looking like they were trying to get anything out of the game. I'm talking about anything. Oh, man, yeah. Seems like a lot of the players just lost interest in the game at that minute. Then we came to the end of the match. The players did their lap of honor, going around and, signing autographs, taking pictures. And so I asked the homie Greg, let's go to the other end of the pitch where we can go a little bit closer and see if we can't interact with any of the players. Some of them did make their way back this way. We ended up snapping a picture with Keegan Rosenberry. I ended up snapping a picture with Cole Bassett. But the biggest surprise of them all was when Reggie Cannon, the newest member of the Colorado Rapids, came walking up to us, and I had to get the picture, and I said, yo, Reggie, what's your favorite Premier League club if you got one? And he didn't hesitate to look up at me and say, Tottenham. And I was like, yo, no shit. And I showed him my tattoos, and he loved them. He was like, man, that's awesome. So I put a smile on Reggie Cannon's face, and he put one on mine for being a Yito. Greg and myself looked at each other and we were like, bro, another Yito, that's awesome. Because he's the first player that I've met who is a Tottenham Hotspur fan. The majority of them are Arsenal fans. I did meet Kevin Cabral earlier on the day. He is a Manchester City fan, and Reggie Cannon being a Tottenham fan, and Zach Steffen, the former Manchester City goalkeeper, who we did snap a photo with as well, is of course still a Manchester City fan. Before we move on to the Tottenham stuff, I kind of want to send out a big appreciation to the viewers, and especially my cousins who tune in. You guys always give me feedback, whether it's good or negative. I accept it and I welcome it. So I appreciate you guys not only tuning into my videos, but showing me love constantly and giving me advice to how I can better my content. Up to the cousins, I appreciate the support. Real quick. Don't forget to let me know whether or not we should do the top 10 Colorado Rapids moments of this season. And yeah, big up. Appreciate all the love for the first year that I did doing the match day vlogs. There will be more next season. I will be doing the playoff ones. This isn't the end of it. I'm just, it's being that it was the end of the regular season home games and there won't be any more regular season match day vlogs. I just had to say thank you guys very much for tuning into those and making them what they are. Let's dive into the big one, my homies. Tottenham Hotspur. We played against Brighton and Hove Albion on the weekend, and I've been kind of avoiding doing this video for the simple fact that I do not want to talk about this part because, oh man, it was probably the best match. It was probably the best first half that I've seen, followed by the worst half that I've seen. And I'm not talking about this season. I'm talking about like for the past couple of years. We started off flying high, my homies, creating chances. Brennan Johnson almost getting a goal within the first minute or 2 minutes of the match. Tottenham probably could have been up 4-5-0 by halftime. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I know that doesn't really count. However, it just adds to the fact that I, in my opinion, this match for us was the yin and yang, and I don't know how that's freaking possible to have in one game. We were starting this match with a very similar lineup to the ones we've had in previous matches, so off the bat, I'm feeling very good about this. You know, Tottenham get their chances. We end up scoring. Brennan Johnson scores another goal, makes it 6 goals in a row. That is the biggest positive and the biggest takeaway from these last couple of games has been the form of some of our players, both good and bad. However, I'm focusing a little bit on the good for right now. And Brennan Johnson picking up another goal for me is very key. The thing that I really liked about this goal was the cheeky assist from the anime celebrator himself. Dominic Solanke filtered in a precise through ball straight onto the run of Brennan Johnson, who was able to put it into the back of the net. This was no tap in, my homies. Tottenham went up 1-0. The pub was full. You know, the pub was a bit full for this match. Again, I don't know if you guys caught the match day vlog from the Tottenham video. I will link to this one up here. Like I said, when the players showed up early on in the first half, it got the mood going for everyone. And then to follow it up with a second goal by James Maddison, which is a guy you do want to see on the score sheet. And then we went into halftime flying high. We managed to snap this picture between, halves. All of the Colorado Spurs, just I make my little speech at halftime, just basically thanking everybody for going. Don't forget to take care of the Esther staff, and I always try to see if there's anybody in the crowd from anywhere else to kind of, big them up. Second half started, my homies, and yeah, I mean, look, as you could tell naturally by the body language, it was a rough one right away. Now, I know I'm missing some of the details for some of the goals, my homies. This is really not an analysis show, so I'm not really going to dive too much into it. But Cuti Romero seems to be one of the players now getting the majority of the stick from the fans and from the YouTubers. I will at least share this piece of my opinion with you guys as regards to our team. I think we're still a young squad in regards to a lot of us, myself included, hold Mickey Van de Ven in very high regards. In all reality, the best attribute that this young man has is his speed. He allows us to play the higher line because of his quick feet. But there are things that he's struggling with, and they are apparent. When Cuti Romero is having to burden some extra weight, it's probably going to hinder his performances. So, all in all, this match for us was the biggest banana peel we could have encountered. It was, like I said, the best football followed by the worst football. It seemed as though Ange Postecoglou gave up. And that's something that we haven't seen from him. It's not like this is rock bottom. I think we hit rock bottom, months ago. We won 5 out of the last 6 games, so that in itself deserves major plaudits. 5 games in a row we won. We were making it 6. However, we just happened to have a bad 45 minutes. Out of all of those halves of football, we managed to have one awful first half or second half. And it cost us immensely. It cost us 3 points. I'm not gonna lie, it did cost us 3 points. I think we are on pace still to finish where we deserve to finish off. Now, I don't say we're gonna win the Premier League, but we are going to be fighting for a good spot up there at the top of the table. I'm very confident of it. Like I said, 6 matches, we just happened to have one bad second half, and it was the one that cost us the 3 points. Another goal for James Maddison. I think James Maddison is one of these players that has to rely a lot on his emotion, has to rely a lot on his form. If he's good mentally, and I feel like he's good in a good rhythm, he's going to be producing the best brand of football for us. And even with Brennan Johnson, deactivated the Instagram, and ever since then, he's been like prime Gareth Bale, the next best Welsh winger. Yes, baby, get in, right? So look at that. Instantly, I start thinking about the positives. I'm doing more rocking back and forth. My blood is starting to just pump up some more. How can yours not, my homies? There's positivity. There's nothing but brightness, nothing but white light at the end of the tunnel. I can see it. I'm not at all disturbed by this last game, besides the fact that it pointed out some things that a lot of us already knew. We already knew this. We just have a hard time coming to grips with it. Mickey van de Ven is an exceptional footballer. He's very good, don't get me wrong. The fastest player in the Premier League. However, he still steps behind Cuti Romero. If we want to have the best partnership in the Premier League, it's gonna take some time, my homies. It's gonna take some time. And then we have players like Radu Dragushin who are just waiting for their opportunity as well. So you've seen what happened in the last 5. Let's see what happens in the next 5. Both my teams ended up taking the L on the weekend. So not the best weekend, my homies, but we're still here. The Broncos did beat their rivals, the Raiders. Take that, you filthy animals. And a big shout out to a local content creator here in Denver by the name of Savage Sev. I will link his stuff down in the description. If you're here in the Denver area, or even all the homies on the other side of the world, if you guys want to tune in to something local here in the Denver area, give the homie a watch. And yeah, so thank you guys very much for listening to this rant, listening to the weekly update. I know it's not the most statistical show, not the most analytical show. However, it is the time where we're able to just spend some time, you being the viewer, me being the homie. Do not forget to like this video, and please subscribe. We're nearing 1,500 subscribers, and it's thanks to people like you. And if you haven't checked out my last vlog, you could check out either a Rapids one or a Tottenham one. Choice is yours, my homie. Come on, you Spurs, and up the fucking pits.